In this episode of Timmy Triumphs, we're going in depth with the map Woods. Woods is one of the largest maps in Escape from Tarkov, with spawns on all sides of the map. As with customs, the raid length is 40 minutes, but has an increased player count of 10 to 14. Because of the map design and theme, there aren't many points of interest on the map, so the loot areas are highly contested, and due to the natural flow of the map, most players flock towards the central lumberyard, as it has some of the more valuable loot on the map. Depending on where you spawn, however, you have other options for loot. Understanding where you spawn can be difficult, as most of the spawns are in the wooded parts of the map, so locate a landmark and plan your raid from there. Traversing the map can be done in two ways: stay in the wooded areas as they provide cover and concealment, but this is also the preferred way for most players, so the chances of running into another PMC is high. Or you could run through the open areas. They are less travelled, but offer no cover or concealment, so you will be very exposed. Early on in the wipe, you will get the introduction task to pick up Jaeger's letter for mechanic. The letter can be found here, underneath the deer stand. Completing the task is required to unlock access to Jaeger as a trader. Let's break the spawns down into quadrants. Spawning in the southwest allows you to take one of two routes. The first option being running to the center towards the lumberyard. This is where most of the action takes place, as you have high tier loot in the form of violet keycard spawns, a safe, some jackets, weapon parts and ration supplies. It's also where Sturman spawns. The other path you can take is north towards USEC camp. If you decide to go to USEC camp, be warned, as there are spawns near the camp and you will most likely come across a PMC that has looted the area and is making their way towards the lumberyard. USEC camp is one of the other major loot areas of the map, with medical supplies, ration supplies, weapons and parts, gold spawns, and is one of the areas where you can find a LEDX. But as there are spawns within close proximity, it will most likely always be looted fairly early on in the raid. Spawning in the northwest places you close to USEC camp and Scav bunker. Most players will move through USEC camp and south towards lumberyard and ultimately extract. The other option is to travel east towards the Scav bunker and abandoned village. Both areas offer some variety of loot, but nothing overly exciting. Scav bunker usually has a lot of scavs spawning in the area, so be prepared for a fight. Continuing east will take you towards the little town and bridge vehicle extract. The town has some decent loot, and as the vehicle extract is always available unless taken, makes for a good loot run, as you can extract easily with decent profits. However, there are spawns at the town, so it might be looted already. When you spawn on the western side of the map, you have a few options for extracts: bridge vehicle extract, UN roadblock, and northern UN roadblock, both of which are always available to you. ZV-16, which is only active when you see green smoke around the bunker, and RUAF gate, which also needs to be active to use. Green smoke applies to this extract as well. There is another extract called Factory Gate, located between RUAF gate and UN roadblock. It requires you to cooperate with a friendly scav in order to use it. Spawning in the northeast gives you access to the town and old lumberyard, which are great loot options with a wide variety of loot. From there you have the option to travel south, west or southwest. However, there really is no need to move south or west, as the amount of potential loot options are low. If your goal is to avoid other players, moving west is a better option, as most players will be moving towards the center, and you can stay on the outskirts of the map and pick up the scraps as you make your way to extract. Traveling south will most likely be a death sentence, as there are multiple spawns, and making your way to extract from there will also put you in contact with players going to extract that spawned on the west. As for sniping, this quadrant is probably the best spawn, as it gives you quick access to the mountain and spine, both of which are great vantage points. Due to that, they are also very dangerous areas, as other players will be going there or will counter snipe you from other sniping spots, those being the area around Duffel Rock or the hills behind Dickhead Rock. Spawning in the southeast places you near Medcamp or FOB, Forward Operating Base, a highly profitable loot area, as there are a lot of medical supplies and ration supplies, with some weapons and weapon part spawns, as well as LEDX spawns. It's also the only main loot area in that quadrant, and is located in an open field with vantage points all around it, so getting in and out is fairly dangerous if other players are nearby. This quadrant also gives the best access to the lumberyard, as it is elevated above and offers clear sightlines into the lumberyard. You are fairly exposed on this side though, so do not linger. Now as for the extracts, the only extracts you have when spawning on the eastern side is outskirts. You may be able to use the vehicle extract if it hasn't been taken, or factory gate if you have a friendly scav to extract with. The only other extract would be ZB14. As with the other bunker extract, it is only available when the green smoke is active. And you also require the ZB14 key to unlock the gate on the inside. Woods is a map with very little regard to player safety, as there are high ledges and cliffs all over, minefields and hostile snipers covering half of the map boundaries. Woods also falls into a category with customs as a map with the widest variety of AI. You have scavs that spawn at points of interest, but they also travel between some of those points, so you may find scavs in the middle of nowhere. There is a single sniper scav, which is located on the mountain. Cultists, which can be found near the abandoned village, or west of the lumberyard in the tree line, near their ritual spot, or marked circle as we call it. You can also find the goons. They spawn around the scav bunker, but can be found at the abandoned village if they travel that far. Then finally, you have Sturman. Sturman can be found in the lumberyard, and is the most sought after scav boss, as he has the potential to spawn with a red rebel, or any of the coloured labs keycards. He also spawns with his stash key. The stash, which can be found in the middle of the lumberyard, can spawn just about anything in the game, and has a high likelihood of having some high tier items in it. The key is also required for a quest. Sturman is a sniper and has 2 followers. Sturman will usually fire off 3 shots with his SVD when he detects a player. He and his followers are very accurate, so stay behind cover. The best way to fight Sturman is through extreme long range or getting up close and personal with a fast firing weapon. This brings us to the end of Woods. The next map we'll be covering is Interchange, so hit that subscribe button if you're interested. Hit the like button if you found this video useful in any way, or share it with a friend that might benefit from this information. And I'll see you Timmys in the next part of Timmy Triumphs.